now will be the time to go as we run it down over the line towards the first turn. It's going to be Sean Moore. That's Brown that spun it into the dirt. Luckily not onto the circuit. Nobody will collect him in turn one. But they'll come onto the Joubert straight now, Frankie. I see Fabio Tofani jumped up into third place, but for how long can he keep it? Here comes Marcel Angel on the outside in turn two. Meanwhile, Mark Ridgway has held second position, and Sean Moore already starting to open up a little bit.
Yeah, and here we go. It is Marcel Angel that gets his nose ahead. Now Fabio Tofani as they work their way into turn number 3 into Interceptor corner. By the way, Alistair Brown's back up and running again, as this whole gaggle of cars work their way through turn number 4. Out of Sarl sweep, down the back main they go. And it is Sean Moore. Those V8s are thundering down the back main from Mark Ridgway. Behind Ridgway, it's Marcel Angel, followed there by Fabio Tofani. That's the first 4 cars heading down into turn 5 fast run. Then we've got Jason Ibertson. He leads that second group of cars basically through turn number 5. And right behind him, he's a 17 of Stuart Spooner.
Change of surface flag, Frankie, in turn 1 they'll be showing, of course. They'll be heading that way now. Dust and sand has been stuffed over there as well. So here comes Sean Moore. He will run into turn 1 now. You can see the dust coming up as they go through that section. Mark Ridgway in second. Out of turn 1 they'll then run. Marcel Angel nose to tail with Fabio Tofani. They are leaving Jason Ibertson back. Just want to take a look at the silver class. Stuart Spooner currently leads the silver class from Menno Parsons and Mark Vogt, as Gary Thompson will be the man in 9th.
And going through the kink now, we've got a change for second. No, we haven't. Man, heading into turn number 3 into Interceptor corner. It was Marcel Angel that tried to move up there into second. As a matter of fact, he's even lost out there to Tofani, and he sits just ahead of Ibertson. So the two Autowas Angel Ford Mustangs are one behind each other, sitting in P4 and 5 down the back main, with the Stuart Spooner getting a lot closer. Behind them, it is Menno Parsons, Mark Vogt, and then the 55 of Gary Thompson, and still out there, but way down is the 22 of Alistair Brown.
Change of second position in turn 5, Frankie. Pertamina Fastron. It's Fabio Tofani now up into second position, but he's in danger. Right behind him is Mark Ridgway. Mark Ridgway will take a look. He'll go a little left just to take a look. He'll dive onto the inside, and right between them almost will be Marcel Angel. That's going to allow Ibertson to close up the gap as they go through turn 1 and onto the Joubert straight, leaving Sean Moore to edge away ever so slightly.
Well, down into turn number 2 they go. Now it's a fight for second, third, fourth, and fifth positions. Heading out of turn number 2. Remember, the car number 1 setting up there in P1 going through the kink. That is Sean Moore. He is a checking out of this one. But that fight for second, third, fourth, and fifth is making its way through Interceptor corner. That little fight's been led there by Tofani as they work their way into turn number 4. Sidle sweep. Fabio Tofani leads that little fight there for second position. Down the back lane they go. Behind him is Mark Ridgway. Oh, behind Ridgway is Marcel Angel and Jason Ibertson, and he used the track and more. Coming out of turn number 4, kicked up a lot of dust there out of Sidle sweep. But all is well as they race down towards Fastron corner, turn 5.
There'll be 5 laps left to go when they cross the line. Here comes Sean Moore in that Ziegler black and green car. Now across the line he will then run. It was 2.6 seconds the last time around between him and second position. It's now 3 seconds. A fastest lap of 1:16.497 for our leader at the moment. But behind him is where all the action is happening. Tofani is breaking away from Mark Ridgway. Mark Ridgway under pressure there from Marcel Angel as they charge up to turn 2.
Into turn number 2 they go now, and as a matter of fact, Tofani is busy closing the gap ever so slightly through the kink on the man that sits in P1. That is Sean Moore. Sean Moore making his way towards Interceptor corner, and he'll just see that 39 car in there behind him. Fabio Tofani, who's trying to get away from Mark Ridgway, but Ridgway up the Tigerberg straight has been kept honest there by Marcel Angel as they work their way into the double right-handed turn 4. Sidle sweep. Down the back main, these V8s thunder towards turn number 5, towards Fastron corner. Not too far behind Angel, we have got Jason Ibertson, Stuart Spooner, Menno Parsons, Mark Vogt, and then we'll see the 55 down the back main, and that is Gary Thompson.
Well, going quite wide and heavy on the banking there at turn 5, Frankie. It was, of course, Mark Ridgway. Mark Ridgway going to be fending off here from Marcel Angel. They come down the main straight, out of the slipstream. Marcel Angel then runs. Will he go onto the inside of Mark Ridgway? He will, but will he come out on top? Yes, he will. There is a new third place man, the Auto House Angel cars. They get onto the Jubez straight.
And not much resistance there by Ridgway, as he just allowed Angel to go through now. Will Marcel Angel out of turn 2 launch a comeback at Fabio Tafani, that's there in that second position? We'll have a look-see as they work their way through the kink towards Interceptor corner. Meantime, towards turn 4, it is Moore that's pulled the pin and disappearing down the road. I don't know if Angel's going to get hold of Tafani, that's in that second place, as they make their way through turn number 4. Out of Cyril Sweep, down the back main they go, but he is getting slightly away here from Mark Ridgway. Ridgway's coming back at Angel though, down the back main, and they are pulling away now from Jason Ibbotson, and not too far behind Ibbotson is Stuart Spooner and Menno Parsons, and they're all racing down towards turn 5, followed there by Mark Vogt and Gary Thompson, and still out there in last position, the 22 of Alistair Brown.
3 laps left to go as Sean Moore crosses the line, Frankie, and that is a 1:16.282. His fastest lap is just set now, and 4.4 seconds ahead of Fabio Tafani. Marcel Angel will come up now past, as he was Mark Ridgway. Looking at the times, a 1:17.0, 1:17.1 for Fabio Tafani. He's a tenth of a second faster. It's going to be a bit of a tough ask, Frankie, because he is at the moment a second off of Fabio Tafani at the moment, with the 3 laps left to go.
The leader all on his own, making his way through Interceptor corner. He's been chased down there by Fabio Tafani, by Marcel Angel, and by Mark Ridgway, as they make their way up the Tiger Book straight towards turn number 4, towards Cyril Sweep. Lots of gaps out there, but there is one little fight that's making its way out of Interceptor corner. And we'll keep an eye on that one, because Menno Parsons is in there, and I think it is Stuart Spooner that's headed. Slowing right down is Marcel Angel down the back straight. Marcel Angel slows right down, as that fight that I was talking about between Spooner and Parsons heads towards turn 5, Fastron corner. But Byron, it's all over for the Autohouse Angel Mustang number 14 of Marcel Angel.
We've been robbed of a potential fight here, Frankie.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, that's such bad news. Well, the good news though for Mark Ridgway is that he's back up into 3rd position. He is 4 seconds off of Fabio Tafani. Jason Ibbotson will inherit 4th position. But look at this battle now. This is the battle between Stuart Spooner and Menno Parsons, the battle for silver class.
Into turn 1 they go. Yeah, that's the only real fight out on track that's making its way out of turn number 1, out of Holzhoek, and that's a fight behind Jason Ibbotson that's heading into turn number 2, and it is Spooner, and right behind Spooner is Menno Parsons. Parsons and Spooner trying to get away from Parsons as they work their way through the kink towards Interceptor corner. And that is about the only real little dice out there at this point in time. However, Byron, Alistair Brown going through the kink towards turn number 3, Interceptor corner, came from way back, and he's on the case there of Gary Thompson.
Yeah, last time around was 1.7 seconds, but if you look at the times between himself and Gary Thompson, he was a 2.7 faster than the man ahead of him over there. So it just shows you how he's eating up that advantage that he has, of course, Gary Thompson. Meanwhile, crossing the line, Sean Moore, 6.2 seconds ahead of Fabio Tafani. This is the final lap of the race as Jason Ibbotson comes across in 4th. Stuart Spooner will come across ahead of Menno Parsons by a second as they come into turn 1 once more for the last time in this race.
Well, all the action, all the drama happening out there as they're busy working their way around through the kink. They go now as your leader, Sean Moore, is way out in front, but Tafani second, Byron, and Ridgway still in 3rd. And I think that's the way they're going to get to the checkered flag. There he goes, down the back straight towards Fastron corner. all on his own on the final lap through Fostron, your race leader, to work his way to the checkered flag, Sean Moore.
Yeah, Sean Moore comes around and will take a dominant victory here in the V8 Masters class and the gold class, as a matter of fact. Here he comes now, crosses the line, hand out the window. He knows it, and he'll finish over 6 seconds ahead of Fabio Tofani. Yes, just over 6 seconds. And then the third place is Mark Ridgway in that third position.
Coming down towards us now, here comes Jason Ibbotson, and Ibbetson's going to get to the flag just ahead there of Stuart Spooner, followed there by Menno Parsons. So Spooner went and fetched Menno Parsons basically. Mark Vogel crosses the line, and then Gary Thompson gets to the flag just ahead there of a recovering Alistair Brown.
Well, talking about recovering, Frankie, meanwhile, Marcel Angel is stuck at the entrance of the Joubert pit section.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to get some marshals out there, which they have done, to push that V8 back into the pits. And it'll be very interesting to find out what was the problem there and if it's fixable for race 2.
Yeah. Well, one more race to go before we have our break. And it is in the Thermo Fires Clubman Saloon Cars.